Long have the sages wondered what would happen if Kbop were to appear in a translation relay. At last the question shall be answered, for George Corley has arranged a translation relay. If you have come to this from his playlist, welcome. If you have not come to this from his playlist, the playlist is linked in the description. You might want to start from the beginning. So anyway, I received a torch in a language called Prosian from Zizanov. I'm still not sure how to pronounce his name, uh, which had some interesting features. Specifically, he did not actually describe the language. He described Proto-Indo-European and gave me all of the sound changes necessary to get from Proto-Indo-European to his language. I, being a perfectly normal and rational person, compiled his all of his sound changes into finite state transducers and almost 250 of them and combined them together. In theory, this should result in me having a program which can convert between the surface forms and the analyses, and thus it will gloss them for me. There were some difficulties with this. It is very hard to write 250 sound change rules in this format and not make mistakes. So I ran it, and there were approximately 7 words from the torch which it knew. And most of them were like odd, which shockingly for Indo-European language means two, the preposition. So then I tried again, but this time with allowing for a bit of difference. But if you allow for things to be a few steps away from something in the analyzer program, well, you get a lot of possibilities. So at this point, I simply had to sort through this massive list of possible analyses for each word and get what seemed to me the most plausible reading. And so I got this uh, approximate translation. Even with edit distance, there were still about uh, about 9 words, 9 or 10 words that I could not find an analysis for. And I just accepted that and had to fill them in from context. So, taking this and attempting to make it a little more uh, coherent, I filled in the gaps and smoothed out the language a bit and concluded that what is going on here is that you are, say, Abraham, and God has appeared to you and sent you on a quest, but you get distracted by a camel. So, uh, you are minding your own business, churning butter, and God appears to you and says, "Cover the butter churn and sell that woman an egg before she starves." Having done this, now hear the quest. In the north, in a dry place, around the lakes in the heat of the sun, is the source of 9 rivers. I have no idea which 9 rivers are being discussed, but there are 9 of them. Go, and I shall weave a story by your footsteps towards eternity. Press on, for I set this quest in motion, and together you shall see even the 6 strains of the sea. Personally, I only knew that there were 4 of them, but I guess there can be 6. Then you look up and see that there are 6 moons and 3 suns in the sky, which is the normal number during a theophany. You turn to your friend and say, "Fill the saddlebags with the traveling donuts." You each take a step, and then you exclaim, "Perish for," and she's giving birth for the camel that has given birth like 3 weeks early. Uh, the camel's cries subside, and you lay aside your cloak before the sun gets any hotter. It is a very and the baby camel is very large, for we may need to increase the milk supply given how big he is. It it strains the entire bottle. You ask your friend to bring out the thread, and he takes the plumb line and the weight that has camels carved on both ends, which is the thing you use for measuring camels. Why you have a specific tool for measuring camels, I'm not entirely sure, but you do. You're in like Arabia or something. There's a lot of camels to measure. Uh, and this baby camel is 8 spans. A year from now, he'll be pulling whatever camels pull very well. And so I then took this text and translated it into Kbop. And what follows and here is the first sentence of what I got from that. Uh, Including the entire text would probably be a bit too long, so I have put the full text in a separate video, which is also linked in the description. Pap jag lisle gos suf san ap vlir sing s u vom ngag vlim ke snava ga snaga. Bob so fop ol ap vlir sang s u vom ka tie yam ak vlim badan. Dan sor meth of saf vlir sang s snal vom grog ke gav. Lef hier ob mos lul saf dan. Ke dan tui fob san ab vlir sang s u vom ngo gag grog ke dan. Ris gui sit res fal we ap vlir sang des nu yak da grog ke vaga. Sop li sus lis su ap vlir sang s u vom ngo gag grog vagadan. Dan vol guj beth. Okay. Lee. Up jag lis le gos suf san ap vlir sing s u vom ngag vlim ke snava ga snaga. Pop so fup ol ap vlir sang s u Vom Katje Yam Ak Vlim Vadan. Dan Sor Meth Buff Saf Vlir Sang Esnal Vom Grog Kega. Lef Gear Bob Moslul Safdan. K Dan Tui Fob San Vlir Sang S U Vom Ngo Gag Grog K Dan. Ris Gui Sib Res Thal Fui Ap Vlir Sang Des Nu Yak Da Grog K Vaga. Sop Li Suslis Su Ap Vlir Sang S U Vom Ngo Gag Grog Vaga Dan. Dan Val Guj Vet Vath Fes Us Vlir Sang Esnal Vom Grogkega. Liu Fevlobob Gek Guess. Sop Li Sus Lis Sus Su Ap Vlir Sang S U Vom Ngo Gag Frog Vagadan. Bud Pog Lutz Roll Vlir Sang S Snal Vom Vlimkega. There were a few errors in this translation. In particular, the I made myself a program to conjugate Kbop words for me, and it and in it I misspelled the inessive infix san as gin, probably due to a copy paste error, since gin is of course the prefix for in front of. So all of the ins had the wrong morpheme. And then also the like most of about half the nouns had really weird gender, which somewhat confused uh Rhea, the person after me, as she was doing this. Oh well. Um, but anyway, I sent this off to Rhea and she did it. And now you should go watch her video for the most impressive feat of conlang decipherment I have ever witnessed in a translation relay. Thanks for watching.